Hello and welcome everyone, I am Madals and this is another StarCraft 2 England cast. Now today guys, I have just got a ladder game. It is between the amazing GLSnute, who is the blue Zerg in the top left position, and in the lower right position we have Jung, who is of course the red Protoss. The map is Antigua Shipyard. We do have a ZvP in store for us and it should be super good. I'm looking forward to it. All of this pack games I've got of Snoot have been really good so far, so I am properly excited to see what will happen. Now, obviously, being a ZvP, what can we expect? Well, usually you get a Forge Fast Expand out of the Protoss, but Antigua Shipyard's possibly the hardest map it is to do it on, so judging by this pro position, we're not going to be seeing that. The pylon is on the high ground, so I think that's a wise move. The reason it's so difficult to fast expand on Antigua Shipyard is because this area is so wide and this area is just ridiculous. That means you've either got to try and wall off a really big area there, or you kind of got to wall off with the Nexus, and then you're not really walled off, you just got to have two cannons, and it's really awkward. Now Snoot, I'll be interested to see how he plays it, because obviously on the one hand he could be expecting a Forge Fast Expand, he could be expecting him not to, so we'll wait and see how Snoot reacts. But a general timing is you'll get about 15 pull into a slightly later natural base than you might expect, and then if the opponent does have the expansion up, basically you just take your third as quickly as possible. And for the moment it's not looking like that will be a problem. We've got a gateway here. I mean, one thing you can sometimes see is that be a forge rather than a gateway, and then you go in cannon down here, which again, it's a bit of an all-in, but it means that you can defend this area easier with cannons. You can go expansion up. It can contain the Zerg player quite well, and it's a tactic that some Protoss players do choose to use. So we'll wait and see. Obviously, that is I've got a couple of games like that on my channel, so do check it out if you're looking for that. Anyway, at the moment, we've just got a probe. He's blocking the expansion, which is exactly what you should be doing. Every Protoss player, just block those expansions. It's really irritating. It delays a hatchery, which basically means the Zerg's at half production for a little longer, and it also obviously knocks back their mining time and everything like that. And this is a great job being done here by Jung, who is, well, he delayed that base for quite a while now. The pool is nearly done, so the Queen will be out, and then the injects start hitting. And for the moment, this is a very much one-base play out of Jung, and I'm waiting to see whether he is going to commit to getting an expansion, or whether he's just going to stick on one base and do some kind of all-in, which wouldn't be a bad move. I mean, what sort of thing could you get off of here? Well, I mean, obviously, I'd be interested to see some kind of utilization of this cliff area here. It's a real key feature of the map for Protoss, in my opinion. So we'll wait and see if anything could be done there. We may see some kind of Warp Prism play. But for the moment, it's obviously just getting the Cybernetics core down. There is some dead space around. It's not huge. That's why I don't think air is too likely. It is possible, but I don't think it's what we'll see out of Jung right now. And actually Snoot taking his third base ridiculously early, and he hasn't scouted anything, so that is a very bold move, and that could actually cost Snoot the game if he can't hold it, because ultimately he's put a lot of resources into getting that third base, and his opponent hasn't got a natural. So I'll be interested to see whether Snoot does cancel this. When he sees nothing there, he's going to see the Stalker out, and the fact that he hasn't seen an expansion yet should be warning signs to Snoot that, hang on, there's something isn't quite right now. Obviously, the Chrono Boost going off on the gateway, so that's not all in. A sentry on its way out, so for the moment, we're just looking around. Snoot, he's got his natural base up, he's getting his second queen out. He hasn't cancelled that third, so obviously that would be the weak point in my opinion. A little bit of Stalker pressure could be annoying there. We do have an Overlord coming on the other side, just trying to get some vital scouting information. But for the moment, Jung is just getting up his Nexus, so he is actually going to be going to expand. He's just been playing this very safe indeed, and that means this third base for Snoot could really pay off for him right now, and would actually be absolutely fantastic, because he's going to be two bases up on his opponent for quite a long time, and no matter what race you are, being two bases up is very good. We do have a Twilight Council on the way out now, so that is suggesting we could see some Blink Stalker play. I think that'd be quite a good move. We do have a lot of Zerglings going across the map though right now for Snoot, who obviously was predicting something. He's got a lot more in production as well, so Snoot possibly going for an awful lot of aggression. He has no gas yet though, so there is no Zergling speed, but ultimately, if you've got that many Zerglings on the field, you don't need them to be quick, you've just got them as pure power. But the two sentries there should be able to complete this wall off and just keep everything safe for a good amount of time. A force field already on its way down. The Zerglings will pull back, but there's just so many flooding across the map. Snoot's still producing nothing but Zerglings, and those sentries are going to be out of energy very quickly indeed. They've each gone up for one more force field each. Two Zerglings do manage to sneak in, and well, this is just constant aggression by Snoot, who is still just producing nothing but Zerglings. This is a very interesting start, because of course there is no speed done, so Really quite uncharacteristic timing for something like this, and well, at the moment we can see Jung is really starting to struggle. He's warping in some zealots, but I'm not sure that's the best move. The sentry is going to go down. There is no wall off now, so there's just so many Zerglings coming into the map, streaming into the base, and well, one gateway goes down, the next gateway is going to fall very quickly. It is trying to warp into a warp gate to allow some units to be produced, but this natural base is almost certainly going to go down now. Even if that does get in time, will he be able to get a warp in off? Probably not. So there we go. Already massive damage being done by Snute, who is doing nothing but getting more Zerglings. A Dark Shrine on the way out now for Jung, because why not? If you're behind Dark Shrine, the Twilight Council, though, that is going to go down very quickly. The natural base also going to fall for Jung, and Snute is in an absolutely dominating position, and he knows it, and he's just getting so many Zerglings. The problem is, this is relatively easy to defend now, so basically Jung does need to do big damage with those Dark Templar when they do come about, but of course Snute already building Spore Crawlers. He knows that if behind you Dark Shrine, so he is ready there. None of the third quite yet, but still. Just so many Zerglings here, this is absolutely insane. In terms of the worker count, 30 to 20 in favour of Jung, because of course Snute has been producing nothing but Zerglings, which are doing nothing at all at the moment. A pretty much good wall off there. I mean, only one, maybe two Zerglings can attack at a time, and there's quite a few sentries already in production, so obviously those sentries are going to be able to force field, and now here comes the problem for Snute, because obviously while he has taken out the base and he is 2 bases up, he needs to transition into something other than Zerglings. He needs to ideally start getting a lot more workers out, because that is what will let him win the mid game, and that's really where we're on our way to. Obviously the natural base being retaken now by Jung. He is getting a single DT, it is warping in. He's already got it one out, has he? Or is, yep, one coming in now, but of course there's a Spore Crawler there. That means that Dark Templar is not going to be doing too much at all. Still Snute has no gas though, so usually by about the 9-minute 40 mark you tend to have some gas geysers down, but Snute now realizing perhaps, yeah, maybe I should get some gas. In terms of the worker count, 35 to 20, Snute really needs to pump some drones, and that is exactly what he's doing with 14 in production right now, and that will actually take him, well, level with his opponent. In terms of the worker count now, of course Jung here does have an awful lot of DTs on his way out. He is really committing to getting quite a few DTs, which aren't doing anything, and it always goes that if you get one DT, it doesn't really matter if your opponent has detection, but if you have 4, then it's probably going to cost you quite a bit. Archon's morphing in because there's nothing else you can really do with them. Still more drones in production, and this is kind of push 2 from Snute, and if that force field isn't really on the money, it might not work too well, but a good 3 force fields wasted actually, and they weren't good at all. Everything managed to get away. More Archons are morphing in at the moment, and well, the natural base only just up now for Jung, and of course if we look at the worker count, Snute now really starting to pull ahead. After this next wave he'll be absolutely incredibly ahead. The creep spread going quite nicely. In terms of the queen count, only 2. Would love to see a third queen at the third base, maybe a queen purely for creep spread as well, because Snute is going to need those injects to stay ahead. 9 more workers in production. This is where Snute is really going to start winning, but he's got to hold off this push, and Snute ultimately has invested nothing in tech as of yet. He doesn't have Zergling speed even in production. His Roach Warren is on the way, but it is not going to be done anywhere near quickly enough. His 1-1 upgrades are also coming out, but here's a forward pylon on its way down, and in terms of gateways, there are 5 gates down. Obviously DTs are still a threat, and well, there's Archons out, and they are very powerful units. Archon Zealot Sentry counters mass Zergling better than anything I could possibly think of, other than say like mass Baneling. So this third base dead and gone for Snute. He's going to lose an awful lot of drones. Obviously those Archons do a little bit of splash, so there's an awful lot of drone kills right there. 19 taken straight down. That levels up the worker count straight away. The Roach Warren though, that is still not finished. It just clicks in now, and of course those 9 roaches on the way out, but Snute has now lost his third base in what can only be described as a bit of a mistake. Snute overcommitted to the mass Zerglings in the start, which meant that he didn't have the worker count. He didn't transition into tech, and well, we've now got a lot of units coming in. Now 1 DT in though, a great choice in my opinion, and basically this all comes down to how Snute defends this. If he can hold, he should be okay. The roaches are now just popping, but some good force fields coming down from Jung right now, and he is managing to really split up this Zerg army. All the Zerglings have pretty much been taken out. A couple of roaches on the high ground are trying to pick off an Archon, but a force field prevents reinforcements, and now we see Jung just really going to town on all of this natural base, and well, could Snute lose this? I really think he might right now, and that is not something he's going to be happy with. If I was him, I'd be incredibly disappointed now after the amount of damage I did early game, and really there's just no excuse for it. Snute just didn't tech quickly enough, and there is the GG, and Jung comes back literally from the dead to really, well, mess up what I thought the result was going to be if you'd asked me in about 9 minutes. But anyway guys, if you did enjoy my cast, please subscribe because I get new top level games up every single day of the week. Leave a cool comment and like the video, that would be amazing as well. So thank you very much for watching, and if you want to watch any more StarCraft, flick over to my channel because I've got hundreds and hundreds of games cast just for you. Thank you very much, bye for now.